Hi everybody! Today we will continue learning how to conjugate one of the verbs we had learned starting with C, right? When we saw the letter C. Cerrarse means to close itself. It's another of the reflexive verbs in Spanish, right? Actually the verb itself is cerrar, right? What is in red. Cerrar, 2 syllables, means to close or to shut, right? But in Spanish, usually all verbs can become reflexive, right? For example, when we add itself to a verb, right? For example, the verb itself is cerrar, but if we want to say that the door shut or the door got closed, in Spanish we say la puerta se cerró, right? So the verb cerrar becomes reflexive when the subject is the object itself, right? Also in other figurative situations we can say yo me cerré, somebody closes himself, right? When somebody actually gets closed emotionally, or when somebody doesn't want to speak, right? We also say that the person closed himself, right? I know in English it doesn't make any sense to add this itself to a verb, right? But in Spanish it is very common, and almost all verbs actually theoretically can become reflexive, okay? So we will see the verb cerrar, right? So just think of the verb cerrar without the green letters, okay? Yo cierro. This means I close, right? Yo cierro la puerta. I close the door. But in case the verb becomes reflexive, then the proper conjugation would include what I have written in green, right? So, for example, I will close the door. Yo cerraré la puerta, without the green part. But if I want to say that the door got closed, right? Or the door shut, I will say la puerta, or ella, the past. We are talking in the past. Ella se cerró, or la puerta se cerró, okay? Same thing. If I want to say that I am closing myself in the sense of I'm not speaking anymore, I will say yo me estoy cerrando, okay? So this verb will conjugate it as if it were reflexive, because although usually it is not reflexive, it can eventually also become reflexive, okay? So let's begin to conjugate the verb cerrar, right? Yo cierro in the present tense, okay? Presente. Yo cierro means I close or I shut. Tú cierras. You close or you shut. Él or ella cierra. He shuts. Nosotros cerramos. We shut. Vosotros cerráis. You shut. Ustedes cierran. You shut. And ellos cierran. They shut. Okay? And if it were reflexive, we would add, right, this particle that is in green. Okay? In the past, pasado or pretérito indefinido, as it is also called in Spanish, okay? Yo cerré, and here I missed the tilde. There. Without the tilde, this would read cerre, cerre. With the tilde, it reads cerré, okay? Yo cerré, I closed. Tú cerraste, you closed. Él, ella cerró, he or she closed. Nosotros cerramos. Sorry, I missed the right subject pronoun here. So here, nosotros cerramos, right? Remember that the ending in the past for all the conjugations for the person we end in amos, M-O-S, okay? Nosotros cerramos, vosotros cerrasteis, ustedes cerraron, and ellos cerraron. They closed or they shut, right? Again, if we want to convert this, transform this verb into a reflexive verb, we would say la puerta se cerró. The door closed itself, okay? That's how we would say it in Spanish. Now, in the future, right? Simple future in Spanish. Futuro simple. Yo cerraré. Yo cerraré. I will close. Tú cerrarás. Él o ella cerrará. Nosotros cerraremos. Vosotros cerraréis. Ustedes cerrarán. And ellos cerrarán. Ellos cerrarán means they will close. Now let's see the second type of future, right? The alternative future. Yo voy a cerrar. Yo voy a cerrar means I am going to close. Tú vas a cerrar. You are going to close. Él o ella va a cerrar. Nosotros vamos a cerrar. Vosotros vais a cerrar. Ustedes van a cerrar, and ellos van a cerrar, for they are going to close. Remember, vosotros and ustedes are synonyms. They both mean you plural. But vosotros is the pronoun that is used in Spain. Ustedes is a pronoun that is used in Latin America, okay? And although they both mean the same thing, however, ustedes conjugates always exactly the same as ellos, right? You can see how the conjugation is identical between ustedes and ellos, always, right? And also, él, ella, they conjugate the same as the pronoun usted, right? However, usted is not a synonym of él or ella. It is a synonym of tú, of you, because usted is the formal or respectful you in Spanish, okay? Remember that Spanish is a formal language, so whenever we address somebody that is much older than us, or somebody whose status requires us to address him or her with a respectful distance, right? Then we address that person as usted, right? Instead of tú. Also, whenever we address somebody that we are not acquainted with, somebody we do not know, somebody we just meet in the street, right? Or at a shop, a customer, okay? A salesman, there we use usted in Spanish, right? Okay, let's now jump into the gerundio. Gerundio is the present continuous. Present continuous. Yo estoy cerrando. Yo estoy cerrando means I am closing. Can be, for example, we can add whatever predicate, okay? Yo estoy cerrando la puerta del auto. That means I am closing the door of the car, or the car's door, okay? Tú estás cerrando. Él o ella está cerrando. Nosotros estamos cerrando. Vosotros estáis cerrando. Ustedes están cerrando, and